Hey all, welcome back to SSX on Tour. I'm Insetic. With me on this set is Blank Tester,
Hey kids, how's it going?
Turo,
Howdy.
and Zindictive.
Sup?
So we're in the middle of being a semi-pro. We didn't reach the next rank, and again, I didn't want any videos to be like an hour long, so I broke this up in half, so yeah. We're a semi-pro, working to become a pro. Working through more stuff, you know.
And
Loving
Daft
that.
Punk is playing at our house.
Nice.
We left our stereo on before we went on the mountain.
Yep.
Yeah. We're gonna show you the ropes.
Yeah.
That's truly how you start this. Flipping straight into it, stalling straight in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So this is Nate guy. Is he mean to you? Is he nice to you at school?
Giving you shit,
At
bro?
school, I don't...
Yeah, is he giving you shit at school?
Son,
Yeah,
Son?
he's kind of giving me a hard time at school, you know,
Do you need me to come down there and talk to him? Maybe talk to his dad?
No,
get the
Dad, don't get
principal?
involved like that. I can do it.
I mean, I can come down. We talk. We bring him into the principal's office. We bring his dad into the principal's office. We have a real conversation about this.
Yeah, have a
call
real
the cops?
fight right in the principal's office. Yeah.
get the principal involved in the fight.
Yeah,
Damn,
real
yeah.
five-way fight. That's right. I'm
Yeah.
fighting you too.
Yeah, the principal could beat up your dad. Oh, good.
So my dad could beat up your dad, but the principal will beat up my dad, and then I'll beat you up, and you beat my dad up.
And then we'll call the cops and the cops will try to beat your dad up.
Yeah.
What's that one game nerds play? Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock? It's like that.
It's called Minecraft.
Yeah,
yeah.
Minecraft.
Rock, paper,
Yeah.
scissors, lizard, Minecraft.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of variations on RPS, you know?
Yeah.
Connor and I used to be RPS champions at our well, as far as league games, I had a perfect record, but
Yeah.
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 What happened?
You did.
Well, I lost. That's what happened to my perfect
That's all that
record.
happened.
Oh
you
shit!
just lost.
Monster trick.
Damn.
Oh, shit, yeah?
Yeah, we finally bought a full monster trick. So that's what happens when you get a full one. You know, you do it, and the camera gets even cooler, and it goes into like a kind of dark green sort of filter and effect, and that's monster on it.
So does that happen by the time you're already tired of the cool camera effect and it isn't as cool, or is it still like a little cool the first time you see it?
Yeah, it's a little cool the first time you see it.
Yeah.
Though I guess kind of a odd thing is that as you see, like everything goes away, like text-wise, HUD-wise.
Yeah. It just
and
says monster.
It just says monster, and so it's
Monster
actually kind of an
energy.
odd thing where, like, if you time it right and land it basically as you're coming up on the ground, you don't actually know how many points you got for it, which is a little weird. Yeah, but
The question, when you go off a jump, like, when you do like a monster trick, or is there may be another kind of trick that does this? Is there like a kind of trick that'll give you more air?
no.
Because I feel like it would make sense for like, I mean, obviously not physics-wise, but like not a lot of things in SSX make sense physics-wise. But like, I think it would be cool if like it reduced, while the trick was going on, it reduced your gravity a little bit, so you could get like further with your jump by doing a monster
Sort of
trick
like
or
Nail the
something.
Trick in Tony Hawk's Proving Ground
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Project
exactly.
A. I see your line of
Like,
logic
that
with
could be kind of cool in a game like SSX, where like you got these huge jumps, you do something big, that gives you more time in the air, so that it's not like the one
I can
monster trick
understand
you
that.
did was like your whole jump. You know, but I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't work in this game.
I think it's like when you're doing the monster trick, there's no gravity affection, so it's nothing along the lines of what you're saying, but just kind of to think it through, like, I think obviously your character is moving faster and such, because if you think like, okay, it got slowed down, but when you finish up the trick, you like put your board back under you and your feet back under you pretty quickly. Like if you imagined like back at regular speed, that would be ludicrously fast.
Right? Yeah.
Like they're still moving normal speed while the game is in slow motion.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, like, if you reduced gravity and that was it, then, like, you know, instead of taking the regular parabolic arc that you would take with the jump, it would be straight. Your horizontal speed is still there, so you'd still have more airtime. You know, something like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. Like
you're
that'd be kind of
spitballing.
neat.
Wingsuits are fun in SSX 2012.
They are.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, I guess we will get there. Shit.
Yeah.
And oh man, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, speaking of wingsuits and snowboarding, I mean, it's gonna date this a little bit, but a new game just got announced, Riders Republic, which
Oh
is
right.
It was,
Yeah.
it was announced a few months ago, but like, yeah, it's
yeah,
maybe
mountain
not right,
bikes,
it's like this.
skydiving, and snowboarding.
That's
It's
a
the
lot of
sequel to
different
Steep,
things.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it looked very similar.
Yeah.
Kind of along the same lines.
Yeah. Although really what I'm looking forward to Shredders, which is coming to Xbox late this year, apparently.
Yeah,
Although
Shredders
they
looks
sure
good.
haven't shown too much of it for a game that's coming out in like 6 months.
Since we're talking about recent games, a game called Wave Break came out like a couple days ago that I had not heard of at all until it came out. But thank you, Zin,
Yeah.
because it literally is like Tony Hawk on jet skis, but also with guns.
You know what's fucked
there's-
about that?
yeah.
You know what's fucked? That came out a year ago because it was a Stadia exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah.
No wonder we
Yikes.
didn't hear about it. Oof.
Now we understand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's a real shame, too, because it looks like a really neat game.
I think it still is a neat game. It's just it was on a shitty surface.
Really bad.
But now it's on
service,
Steam.
Yeah. Apparently
Switch.
Stadia's still trying to like exist. Like
I think
apparently
it-
they showed like exclusive games for Stadia like today, which
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that'll probably be the case for a while. I mean, that's the thing. Google always does this, right? Like they'll try to get into every market, and then when they succeed, and they take like stranglehold over the market. And when they fail, they kind of just disappear, let whatever contracts they have run out, and then never talk about it again. You know, Google Plus, Google Glass. Like people forget about the failures Google's had because they just don't ever talk about it again, and they never try to revive it. So I imagine
it's very
Stadia's
much like
probably
a
gonna be the
hey,
same
remember
way.
this happened sort of thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Stadia is going to be one of those things that people just like. We all still remember the word Stadia, but we're not going to think about it fucking at all.
Yeah.
Oh, those
Oh my
rocks are always a
God,
bitch.
Jesus.
Yeah.
In
I
like
hit
a year
those
or
rocks
two.
like 66% of the time.
Oh god, that was
I was off the grind line, so you can't trust anything.
Yeah.
Just can't.
Connor.
trust
One of these days,
the grind.
can you? Okay, you probably won't end up doing this, but it would be really fun for you to just one time if you see like a really sick crash like one of these games, just like edit into one of those Mortal Kombat X-ray modes.
I see.
Just
Oh my
like so
God.
that you see the skull smash for a second, just to really spice things up for us.
Hey, so this was pretty cool. You could actually go to either of the branch-off tracks at that
Oh, that is
intersection.
yeah. Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah, the game limits you to one or the other, but I saw there was no, fence
no barrier,
sending
yeah.
you to one or the other, and I'm like, I'm not going to half-banked, I'll go to compilation. That's all about
Yeah,
tricking.
because we've already been to
Yeah.
half banked. Like, because most of the time, like in that specific split off, it's always like the left track that's blocked off.
Oh, I see.
So it's like, yeah, let's try that for once.
Yeah.
That's pretty
They're
cool.
not going to send
honestly.
you to compilation unless it's a slope-style event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Going
Monsieur.
up that monster.
So this is one of the longer events. Like this is like one of the 10-minute events.
Yeah, the 45 that you saw is basically the event descriptor is single heat, but that means you'll go down like
Yeah.
3 or 4 tracks in it.
Yeah.
I think for like a second, like a very split second, I saw how much that monster was actually giving you. It was like 40,000,
Yeah.
50,000 points.
Yeah.
I guess, all right, we're back out of podcast mode. We're back into talking about the game mode. So, like, that does kind of have a bigger effect than you think because, I'm not paying attention. Like, when I'm trying to land a trick, I'm not going like, okay, in the one split second I have, I need to see how many points I get here. So when I do this big crazy trick that takes a while because it's all in slow motion, and then I land and I just have more points than before, and my combo is also just more points than before, I can't really, like... Yeah,
Do
that
the math
doesn't
in your
really
head.
make me think like, oh yeah, that was worth a lot of points. So really, in a way, I never really know how much points things are. Like in the previous games, even when you're flipping and uber tricking around, it's always showing you like your potential points, what points you're
multiplier,
building
yeah.
up. And that's really, really helpful. We've talked about in other games where does things that like hide how many points you get. That
Right.
like, you know, if you don't see that kind of constant visual feedback, you don't really register it, and so like
it's like even if you see like a big number times another big number, you're not gonna know the exact number of points you have. You're not even gonna really have an estimate of how many points you have. But you see big numbers, and that gives you a feeling like, okay, I'm about to get a ton of points. If you hide that information from the player, you know, they may end up getting the same amount of points, but the subtraction that they would have to do, and also the memorization of what score they were at, and you know, like that's not no player is reasonably going to be doing that. And, oh, that was sick.
That was
really fucking cool.
That was awesome.
I don't know, like it's just it contributes greatly to the feeling you have when you're playing the game. You know, the design choice of showing you what you're doing, showing you the score you got. You know.
Yeah. So like especially when you have a bunch of monster tricks and a lot of big jumps back to back, and so you're doing that a bunch. I found that, you know, if I'm trying to keep a combo throughout, afterwards it is just like I look up and it's, oh, I guess I got that many points out of the combo because I couldn't really like see it develop, see it happen, either the combo or my, you know, actual points.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there was you know me, I played Sonic Adventure 2 all the time, blah blah blah. So like in the Sonic games, if you get like usually when you're completing levels and completing whatever, there's like a general progress meter of like how many emblems you have or how many A ranks you have or whatever, something like that. And so like I remember I was playing like a game that was kind of like Sonic. It was a Japanese only game, and I was playing it at a friend's house. At my brother's friend's house, and for whatever reason, it was kind of a cheap game. They didn't show you after you beat a level that you got an emblem, and so like, even though it's a really small thing, and like most of the time when you're just beating a level, it's not like a huge accomplishment or anything. That feeling of having accomplished something was always really like seriously missing because
Diluted.
you finish the level and then like you go back to a menu and it just says, oh, the number that was 4 is now 5. Like.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like I didn't feel anything from that. You know, which is the whole point of a game. It's supposed to make you feel like the character or feel just cool or whatever, you know?
It's supposed to like make you feel like you did something.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Even though you're not. You're just sitting at home, you know?
Yeah.
Go outside.
I'm not really snowboarding.
Wear a mask,
I'm
but go
just
outside.
playing SSX.
Yeah.
I miss snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's just gotten sad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully that all made sense. Yeah.
Oh,
in terms of just,
you
like,
had a 147
I know,
no combo.
Yeah.
I saw
Oh
that,
shit.
Yeah.
That camera is weird. You
Yeah,
have
the
to take
camera's
it at
really-
such a specific speed.
Yeah.
That looks
is weird.
shanky to me. That one camera.
I mean, I feel like I would have probably just made that like a cylinder, right? Like a really fairly tall cylinder where if you're just even kind of close but lined up with it, you get it.
Like damn near every other camera.
Oh my God.
If you go off, you know, the rail they want you to go off, or go off the jump they want you to go off, you'll get it. But there, it's specifically like I cannot really boost, or I need to boost, you know, to get up to just like this amount of speed, and then hope it works.
I like the camera idea. It's just the execution is.
It's like 90% of the time
That's
it's
the
fine,
worst
though.
execution.
Yeah, that one's
we're
the
not
worst
gonna complain
one.
about the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like most of the time, you know, you get it every time. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You
I'm
want to do
excited
another
to see.
45 slope style right after that?
Honestly, maybe. I don't remember what I do, but like, again, you know, just doing something once is better than having to do, you know, 2 tracks plus an intersection 3 times in a row.
I'll be able to have it just like cook off.
Video 4 hasn't gone out when we're recording this, but someone in Video 3 was saying, okay, I'm already getting tired of seeing these tracks, and I'm just like, oh my god, after this playthrough, like, son of a birch, if I never see it again, it'll be too soon.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll see it in your dreams, though, and ruin everything.
And we'll see it again across the rest of this footage.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Son of a birch.
Grenade.
Yeah.
I guess it's just what was going on in that cutscene there, but the sky being dark, the sky being dark gray, I'm not a fan of. Like, I don't know, this whole background right now is just,
I feel like if it was like a really dark blue, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like,
I think it's supposed to be like foggy nighttime, right?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to see, like, if it's foggy, you wouldn't really be able to see the sky.
I guess then I feel like the colors on the ground feel really muted.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the
Maybe.
problem. Like, everything's got this kind of greenish
Hold on,
yellow. Yeah.
I'm concerned we're in negativity mode. Because we were cool with this track and these colors and such. Like,
No,
before.
I just wanted to say, like, that's actually kind of the aesthetic that, like, everything was going for, like, for a while, and I'm glad this game doesn't go too heavy into it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there were whole
And that was fucking
games.
awesome.
That was fucking awesome, yeah. There were whole games that were, like, brown and gray for a while. For a while, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, remember when you could classify which Gears of War it was based on what the color scheme was? Like, the first one's gray, the second one's brown and gray, the third one's yellow. Like, every fucking moment of those games is one color.
I think what I can say is that when it comes to the whole sky here and everything of the nighttime, I feel I can use some more color and not just be this dark gray.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I do love the fog and the snow. Like
I do
the
too.
visual effects of the game do look really,
Yeah,
really good.
I think this game does really well with its visuals and everything. It's just there are some things here and there that I'm not a big fan of, like the nighttime.
Like, and I just, you know, I was like, yeah, that brown and gray, whatever, was like late 2000s, early 2010s. Like, yeah, this is more muted, like tricky and such, but I mean, it's still got tons of color. Look at like Stoked. If you
Yeah.
want to
Oh
see
my
a game
God.
right in the middle of the brown and gray, an extreme
I
sports
swear.
game that got affected by that.
I have that game, and like every once in a while, I'll pick it up and be like, man, you know, I remember not liking this game, but like I should give it another fair. Like this is like every like once a year or so, I'll be like, man, I
Yeah.
should give this game another fair shake. I get like 20 minutes into it, and I'm like, oh, I remember why I've tried to play this game like 5 individual times and like get like 20 minutes into it before deleting my save file and putting it back in the full spot.
Yeah, I have that exact same experience, except instead of once a year, it's once a decade, and it's with Sonic 06, and instead of playing for 20 minutes, I 100% the game. I'm 100%
Last
the
time you
game.
brought it up, you were on like 4 times. Are you on like 5 or 6 now?
I'm on 4. I've 100% of the game 4 times. Not because I enjoy it, but just because I'm like, man, was it really this bad? And then I get to the end, and I'm like, oh, I 100% of this.
I'm 30
shit.
hours in, but I'm just not sure yet.
I'm
Let
not
me go to
sure.
like 31.
Yeah, let me just see. Maybe this next hour will show me something that they did
Maybe
correctly.
5 more hours of this.
I like how you specifically mentioned that it's once a decade, and you mentioned it was 4 times because you did recently turn 40, right?
Yeah, I did recently turn 40. That's
Yeah.
true.
He actually celebrates, he kicks off the next decade of his life by 100%ing Sonic 06.
Hold on. let me also cut this off at the pass because apparently this is something people actually do think. I'm not 40. Okay.
You're 41.
I believe I said this on a Steel Donut video one time, and somebody took it seriously because last year I was wished a happy 40th birthday, and I felt like I know our fans are younger than me. I know I'm a little bit older than the average age of our audience, but come on, I'm not. Do I sound 40? You think I'm 40?
You sound mid-30s at best.
And before anybody says, oh, he was kidding, he was not kidding. We had a private conversation about it. He said, hey, you only turned 40 once. And I was like, do you really think I'm turning 40? And he's like, you're not?
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think he actually did do it on purpose to like fuck with you?
No. I mean, I know this kid. He's not he's not someone to do that. He's a pretty awkward guy. He's pretty straightforward, though. He's a nice kid.
Yeah.
He actually, like, the thing he was giving me for my birthday, which, like, again, I don't expect a gift for my birthday because I'm an adult, but also because, like, these are, like, fans of the Steel Donut who just joined the Discord or whatever. They,
Yeah.
they don't owe me shit.
Sycophants.
You know, sycophants.
absolute degenerates fans of what we do.
He wrote me like a song. Like he composed a song, like with
About
electronic
you.
music. No, it doesn't have lyrics. It's just like it's like an electronic song. And like I was like, this is really cool. I appreciate this. No one's ever done that for me before. But I'm not 40.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh my
I didn't
god.
grow up with a hand crank telephone. Actually, do you remember, Connor? Do you remember in 4th grade there was a kid. I don't want to use his full name because obviously, but there were two Evans in our 4th grade class. Do you remember? Yeah. So the not lame Evan.
Yeah.
That
Not
Evan
lame one.
had a hand crank telephone in his house when we were growing up.
Oh, nice.
Was it
Yeah,
functional?
it was like it was functional. Yeah, it was functional, and
shit.
it was like an antique that his mom had bought at like some kind of thing, and she was really handy around the house, and she installed it in their home, and it worked. But
That's
it only
awesome.
worked to the extent that like if you wanted to make a call, it sounded like total dog shit. And you had to keep cranking it. The moment you stopped cranking, it just hung up. So I was hanging out at their house after school or whatever, and I was like, I needed to call my mom and just let her know. And so I said, "Hey mom, I'm using this hand crank phone," and she says, "What?" And I'm like, "If I stop cranking, we'll hang up." She said, "What?" And I hung up.
I actually also had a hand crank telephone in my house, but it was also like an antique, and like we never set it up. But like
Yeah,
I remember,
I don't know.
my
I don't
mom
know how
desperately
she set it up.
Yeah, I remember my mom like desperately trying to explain to us how it worked because
Yeah.
we didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect what she probably did was had like a regular phone's guts inside this phone, and then like
Oh, really?
hooked up the. That would be my guess because like, you know, it also like a hand crank phone also had like a bunch of old like wiring to get the phone call through, right? So like what I
Yeah.
think she did probably was just wired the power to a little dynamo that you hand crank, and then otherwise it's a regular phone that then outputs to this shitty little cup on a line
Yeah,
that you would hold.
I was gonna say that's just what the '80s sounded like.
Right.
Like you know how they say that like the '60s television was in black and white because that's just what it looked like back then.
yeah, there were
like-
no colors. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
'80s
Yeah.
just sounded like that. Like everyone, yeah.
I mean,
Everyone was
hand
bit
crank
crushed.
telephones were popular in the 80s.
Oh yeah, the '80s was like when people first started putting phones in their cars, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of a funny
Yeah, but
story.
that's not hand crank. Like hand crank was
Yeah,
like
I
1920s.
I was,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's like
It was the
I'm
era
a
of
bit
cranking
anachronist
it.
here.
Yeah.
Also, although on the topic of car telephones, my uncle had like, of course, when like cars with like telephones built into them, like back in the day were first being made, they were obviously like a status symbol, and they were such a status symbol that people would buy cars with fake ones in them, and my uncle had one of those,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is really funny to me.
Jeez.
You're not a real, man
Yeah.
unless you have a car telephone.
Yeah. He also was apparently like a real car nut. In his first ever car, he like crashed driving off the lot.
Look, if you ain't cranking it with your car telephone, you ain't living.
I don't
Yeah.
think it was a crank telephone. I think a crank telephone in a car.
So you use your first two hands to
Yeah.
do 10 and 2. Your second two hands to
Yeah.
operate the phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Multitasking.
But what do you do with your third set of hands?
Well, you're jerking off. You're having phone sex after all.
Oh, okay, okay.
And of course you're using both hands for that. Double crank and that.
You got your one hand on the transmission, and you got your other hand on the transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you're basically Goro from Mortal Kombat with 6 arms. Or like Goro, not Goro has only 4. You've got to have 2 extra arms.
Why do you think that motherfucker's so buff?
Goro
Yeah.
1.5.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's
Is this son of a birch?
No, this event, which again, 3 heats, so we're seeing the same thing,
Yeah.
has been white knuckles to higher learning.
Yeah. I should say, once again, I've beaten this game before.
Oh yeah,
Now we're in
once again,
Bat
it's the
Country.
middle levels. It's the one, that's why it's so weird. It's the ones that you play over and over and over that you forget the name of.
yeah.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I've learned at this
you
point
just
that I
not paying
actually know
attention
the
to it,
names of, like, none of these levels.
Yeah.
Like, what's the other, like, rail park that's like compilation?
Mind
but-
the Gap.
Mind the Gap, that's what it is, yeah.
See, again, like, and this is what we discussed, like, what video too, like, the top of the mountain and the bottom of the mountain that you
Really?
see less because, again, you see the middle of it so much. Those are the ones where, even though it's rarer, those are the ones where I can remember the name of. Or, like, people, remember the name of. And then the ones you race over and over and over and over again are somehow the ones where it's like, oh shit, was this half-banked? Was this higher learning? Was this son of a bird? Like...
It kind
Like
of
the
feels
one-
like they're all
like-
meshing together in a way.
The 2 peak events... Well, no, not the... There's 3 of them, actually. The 3 peak runs, and then there's the one with the road, there's the one with the village...
Yeah, like at the very top, it's like, oh yeah, I remember now. I remember what Between the Sheets is. I remember what Hot Damn... Like, I remember the set pieces from those, and then it's like,
Hot Damn is great.
Roadkill and Last Call. I remember the stuff at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah.
And actually, me, since I had to play so much of this game to complete it through, I actually can remember now what, like, higher learning or half-baked da-da-da are.
Yeah.
But I was in your shoes. I was totally in your shoes.
This will be on the test, by the way, to anyone watching.
Yeah. I really like all the set pieces this game has thrown at us. But one thing I wish you could do, and this is just one of those things that, like, in a perfect world, you could do all the cool stuff in any video game. I would wish you could crash through a window and just, like, ride on the inside of one of those ski lodges, you know?
You know what game you could do that in?
What?
Palmist.
Could you? Okay.
Yep, in several levels, actually.
Nice.
Both in
I mean, like,
Aspen
just one.
and Darno Ski Ranch, you could do it.
Yeah, I guess that's like
probably
the
a few more
one
levels.
kind of common set piece that they don't have in there. Because, yeah, I can think of a level in, like, 1080 Avalanche, an area in Shaun White, that you do that in. You go crash through a window through a ski lodge.
Yeah, that's cool. I love
Yeah.
the. I mean, it's a fun idea. Let's throw that in somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, in a game like SSX, there's a lot of, like, I don't know, like, your vertical and horizontal movement it's much wider. So, like, I don't know. It may be harder to do something like that in a SSX game.
All right, we became a pro. We're gonna be a pro next video.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. See you next time.